Hello again, and welcome to another chapter from 50 Minerals that Changed the Course of History. Today is the fifth chapter, and the subject today is alum, which comes from the Latin word alumen. The word alum refers to several mineral salts with different industrial, medical, food technology, and cosmetic applications through the ages. Among the most important historically was the use of aluminum sulfate as a chemical fixative in the dyeing of yarn and cloth. So it wouldn't be the color, but it would make the color stick to wool or cotton or whatever fabric you're dealing with. Section 1. Color conscious. In the modern world, we take the color of our manufactured goods for granted. But in Neolithic times, the New Stone Age, when they were just learning how to farm and have villages, for the most part, human products were the dull gray of stone, the muted browns, ochres, and reds of clay, and the off-white, black, or brown of untreated animal skins and yarns. The vivid colors found in nature's flowers, insects, and birds must have charmed early humans, but it also made them feel very chromatically inadequate. Of course, there is no practical reason why pottery should be anything but brown, nor should cloth be any color but off-white. The addition of color does not in any way improve their form or function. But, being human, especially in the early periods of human history when we lived very close to the natural world, has always been about much more than functionality. In addition to the enjoyment of color for its own sake, it allowed our ancestors to express differences in social status. For example, imperial purple. Differences in religious belief, such as Islamic green. And national allegiance, the red, white, and blue of several national flags. Section 2. Dyed in the wool. That's dyed with a D-Y-E-D. There are many substances found in nature, in plants, animals, minerals, shellfish, insects, that will yield bright stains in a wide range of hues. The problem, however, is how to ensure that the stain is permanent and doesn't leach out when the cloth is worn, rained on, or washed. You don't want to wear clothing that makes your skin that same color. That would be very annoying. Just as there are natural dyes, there are natural fixatives, or mordants, that will fix and enhance the color of yarn and finished cloth. Although in the case of stale urine, one wonders precisely what experiments led to that discovery. Another natural fixative is one of the many chemicals known as alum, in particular aluminum sulfate, which was used from antiquity in a number of dye processes to obtain color-fast yellows, greens, reds, pinks, and purples. And here you see piles of these different dyes. And again, what fixed them, and here the word fixed, it's very important you understand, it doesn't mean corrected or repaired. It means made it hold fast, hold strong, and glued it to the material. Anyway, what held it was the alum. So although the expression dyed in the wool has now taken a slightly negative meaning, describing someone who is politically and socially conservative and who finds it difficult to change his or her views, its original connotations were dependable and firm. The expression came from the textile industry, where it was used to describe woolen yarn that was dyed before it was woven into cloth. So you don't dye the clothes or even the cloth, you dye the stuff that is made into the cloth. The ability to dye yarn increased its value to the producer, who might otherwise receive a low price for his raw, uncolored wool. The export of woolen yarn and cloth was the basis for the economic success of England during the Middle Ages. Well, I don't know about the basis, but it certainly did bring in some extra funds. However, when Henry VIII declared independence from the Church of Rome in order to obtain a divorce between him and his first wife, he unwittingly cut off England's supply of dyers' alum, the bulk of which came from the Papal States, where the Pope was in charge. So in order to replace it, English dyers turned to native sources of aluminum sulfate by combining shale with, yep, you guessed it, human urine. Potassium alum, also known as potash alum, or tawas, is a natural astringent and antiseptic. In recent years, it has been marketed in the West as a natural alternative to chemical spray-on and roll-on deodorants. Used in this form for centuries in Southeast Asia, tawas kills bacteria that cause body odor. Alum is prescribed both externally and internally in Indian medicine, where it is known as Saurashtri, and in traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, where it is known as Mingfan. So, there you go. Alum is a mineral that changed the course of history. Again, it may not be politically important in the sense of making an empire rise or fall, although there was that connection with England there, and how it separated from Europe the first time in the 1500s, not like Brexit today, where actually people are still friendly to each other. It was very much with animosity back then. But aside from that, alum is generally an add-on. It's not really necessary in the sense of survival. But that goes to show just how important in humanity things that aren't strictly needed for survival are. So we want to make sure that as we pay attention to the value of things, we don't only value the things that are, quote-unquote, essential, but we also have what is non-essential. Not necessarily equal value, but we do value them. Thank you for listening, and tomorrow we will look at alum's key component, not the sulfate, but the aluminum itself.